the Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? I'm just dancing because I think it's the off the shoulder. It makes me want to shimmy, like little, right? Little shimmy. Anyway, that's not what this video is about, shoulder shimmies. But it's fun to add to the playlist, if you will. Let's talk about, I lost my train of thought. I knew what I was gonna talk about, and then I did the shoulder shimmy and it shimmied it right out of my head. I was going to talk to you about, what was it? I lost it. Give me just a second. I'm thinking. I'll think fast. I was going to talk to you about, cold and flu season. It's January. In most of the world, it's cold this time of year. And people get sick. How do you handle that? So I have some people that I know that have been sick quite often in the last 3 months, 4 months maybe. And I mean, it does happen where people get sick. I have kids, they get sick all the time. I try to disinfect quite often, like regularly, like I buy that Lysol spray and I spray it on the light switches, the doorknobs, the refrigerator door. I have boys that like to eat and they're constantly raiding the refrigerator. So I clean quite regularly anything that they touch, the microwave handle, the oven handle, even though they don't really use the oven because I do. Hence the reason, if you've ever seen my burn marks, I burn myself all the time on my right arm. And like, look, all these are burn marks. So when you see them, it's because I'm always trying to hurry. When I'm getting something out of the oven, I think I'm not getting down low enough. So what happens is I'm reaching down, I'm opening the handle, and then I have my oven mitts on, and I'm trying to take the baking sheet or the roasting pan or whatever out of the oven, and I burn myself. I always do it, and it looks awful. I mean, it's not very attractive. And like these marks, sometimes people from afar, they think I'm like, who knows what they think. But anyway, it's always this arm. Because I'm right-handed maybe. So I'm always, maybe I need to get down lower. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But when I'm feeling like I'm coming down with something, I try to drink a lot of water. Just flush it out. Orange juice, I prefer regular oranges. I cut them in quarters and then I just suck the juice out that way. I also drink a lot of tea when I'm feeling like I'm under the weather. What do you do? I know some people do like echinacea tea, or they take echinacea pills. Everybody has a different thing that they do. We also do homemade chicken noodle soup. I love to make that for my kids when they're feeling like they're getting sick or when they actually are sick. And get this, so chicken noodle soup is pretty easy to make homemade. You just get I get a whole chicken. I put it in some water and I let that boil. I add carrots. I add the matchstick carrots, the ones that are like, they look like they're shredded. I add those. I add celery, onions, and I let that boil for like an hour and a half minimum. maybe even 2 hours. And then I take the whole chicken out of the pot. I take the celery out too, because at that point it's not mushy, but it's softer. So then I can let it cool, and then I can just slice right through it. And then I put that back in the soup. The carrots are already pretty thinly, they're the matchstick carrots, so they're easy to just leave in there. And then my onion, I dice it before I put it in, and then that's already taken care of. I add the chicken, so I start with the breast, and I just cut like little bite-sized pieces, dump that back into the soup, and then I add cheese tortellini. Cheese tortellini. My kids love it. Like, when I say they love it, it's almost like it's something, it makes the chicken noodle soup something kind of boring and just, there's nothing exciting about chicken noodle soup. I mean, do we like it? Sure. But it's not really exciting. The tortellini is the pizzazz that you add into the chicken noodle soup. Tortellini, cheese tortellini, it's a game changer. Try it one time. And there's a specific brand that I like. It's called Gia Russa, G-I-A. Second word is Russa, or maybe it's Russo. I'm second guessing myself. Russa, R-U-S-S-A. I think it's Gia Russa. And it's got this picture of, it looks like Mona Lisa, but it's not Mona Lisa on the package. So it looks like this old time photo. It's called Gia Russa 4 cheese tortellini. It's divine. It tastes so good. I add that into the soup, and I add some chicken bouillon. I usually do too much, so it ends up being a little more flavorful, not salty, but flavorful. I'm trying to work on my balance of the bouillon. But anyway, I add that, and then I just let it do its thing. When the noodles start coming up, the tortellini, it's ready to eat. And I call everybody to the kitchen and I say, get your bowl. The soup is ready. That's how we handle cold and flu season. How do you handle it? Cheers.